I understand Mars is getting ready to change signs. We've got the rover up there on Mars. Does that have anything to do with it?
Golly, that's a good question. I hope it means it's going to find out there was indeed water there once, and they need to take care of their planet.
Well, I understand they were moving the rover around, and they had to back it up because there was an overturned UFO in the left-hand lane. Now, what's the real story?
A rim shot
Bada
right
boom!
there, bada boom. Mars is changing signs. Mars is where we project our ego out into the world. It lasts about 6 weeks in a sign. It's been in the sign of Libra. It has now gone into the sign of Scorpio. And the reason it's important is that Saturn, the planet of grief and aggravation, is entering Scorpio in October. So this is sort of like a tease of what you can expect over the next 2 years or so if you put your energy out in a concentrated manner. So, okay. Starting with Virgos, this is in their third house of day-to-day living, the pace of their day-to-day living, the structure of their day-to-day living, not necessarily what they do, but where it is they do that in is going to be refined over the next 2 years or so. So the effort they put into that now is going to pay off for them sometime over the next 2 years. For Libra, Mars in Scorpio means they are fixing to spend a bunch of money. And I don't know whether it's going to take money to make money. I don't know whether they are going to just be increasing their spending, but they're going, and they can also mean that they find a way to make more money, which they're going to need because they end up getting cut off from an accustomed source of income. For Scorpio, Mars in their sign means I'm not staying in the background anymore. Mars in their sign says I'm ready to get what it is that I want, to do what it takes for me to get what it is that I want. It's a very aggressive, a very assertive kind of, no more hanging in the background waiting for permission. I'm giving myself permission to do what I need to do. For Sagittarius, this is a very difficult time for them. Mars is in their 12th house. They have to be really careful not to shoot themselves in the foot. They have to be really careful not to do themselves in, either by procrastinating or doing something that just wouldn't stand the scrutiny in the light of day. For Capricorns, that Mars is in their 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives, and they get to mount a really big push over 6 weeks or so to achieve a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective, but it's going to take a group effort rather than just their individual one to bring that about. For Aquarians, they just need to try and keep their heads down and stay out of the line of fire. Aquarians have all kind of stuff going on at work, and they're really going to feel that they are besieged on all sides, that they are being attacked on all sides, and they're just going to have to kind of like hunker on down and see if they can endure it. Is about the only thing they can do. For Aquarians, Mars is in...
You just did them.
Oh, for Pisces, falling back. I keep looking at Aquarians thinking, who are the political candidates that are Aquarians and what does that mean? But we can address that in the future. For Pisces, 9th house of the law, important matters at a distance, legal matters, educational matters, contracts, negotiations, they move off dead center. They have been parked in virtually the same place for the last year or two, and that's over now, and they really need to take their philosophy and put it to work for them. For Aries, they're also fixing to spend a ton of money, and this is on unanticipated expenses where Librans knew what it is that they were getting into. For Aries, it's one thing after another, and anything that can break will so. And my advice to Aries is fix it right the first time. Don't do it halfway, because it'll end up costing you way more money in the long run. For Tauruses, Mars in Scorpio in their 7th house of partners. And Tauruses are normally pretty obedient and pretty good partners, and they say yes to just about whatever their partner wants. That ends. And Taurus has become very, very vocal. And Tauruses also have a chance to be somebody's advocate, an advocate for something. And it's a good place for them to put their passion. For Geminis, it is in their 6th house of work and responsibilities, and it means a huge shakeup for Geminis, and I don't know that the Gemini is going to be a part of that. I'm afraid that this is something that's going to happen to the Gemini as a result of things that have gone on over the last 2 years or so, and they will be lucky to survive with their jobs intact over the next 6 weeks.
Woo!
Yeah, it's for Geminis, and they've had a really easy time of it the last 2 years. Saturn was trining their sign, everything went their way, everything was coming up roses, and they get called to task on it now. For Cancers, best time to be a Cancer, because Mars in their 5th house means their creativity is unleashed, the love principle is unleashed, and they either can take something that was a creative idea and breathe life into it. In every sense of the word, it's a very fertile time for Cancers. And then for the last sign, for Leos, there is stuff going on at home, upheavals at home, change at home, things that they need to deal with, and something new comes to light at home. Something is unearthed that changes things for them one way or the other. And I think it's a positive change rather than a negative change. It's something that is needed to be addressed. It's sort of been like that elephant in the room. No more of that. It comes to the surface where they can finally go ahead and deal with it. So
Okay.
tomorrow's news today for the 6-week period brought about by Mars in Scorpio.
Thank you, my dear.
Always a pleasure. Stay dry.